Welcome to Dude on Air, the show giving you the latest and best of Hollywood. We're talking movies, TV, and everything in between. Here's your host, Gerald Yelverton. Lights, camera, action. Hey, awesome people. Welcome to Dude on Air, the show where we talk about movies, life, and everything in between. I'm your host, Gerald Yelverton, and today we are talking about the film Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is directed by Dan Gilroy. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, Bill Paxton, and Riz Ahmed. When Lou Bloom, a driven man desperate for work, muscles into the world of LA crime journalism, he blurs the lines between observer and participant to become the star of his own story. Aiding him in his effort is Nina, a TV news veteran. Guys, this movie was awesome. It was so cool. The world that they brought you into is one that, for one, I was not familiar with. I didn't even really know that this existed. And though I see, we see the videos of the news all the time, I don't ever really think about the news media like being there, like what goes into creating this story. So basically, the movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, who is this guy. He's like says, desperate for work, desperate for a career. And he kind of stumbles upon, night crawling, which are, filmmakers and cameramen who were out at night and they are tracking, the police scanners and things like that, trying to find out where the crime is. That way they can be the first on the scene to film it. And then what they do is they sell it. They're like independent contractors. They sell it to different news outlets for the highest bidder. And the news outlets are out there trying to buy, this footage, which is interesting because we think like when we see something, especially live on TV, that it's always like the news helicopters that are, flying around. And we think that, Channel 6 or Channel 3 or, whatever channel is Channel 10 or the channels that are out there catching the breaking news themselves. But it often takes, the actual news vans and media to get there. It takes them a little bit of time. So there are these independent contractors, filmmakers who are out there with all this equipment that are normally on the scene first because they are following the police. And so Jake Gyllenhaal gets into that, and he's kind of like this kind of obsessive, impulsive guy. So when he gets into it, he really gets into it, and it starts off with just him, and he's like in this beat up car, and he has like this really, really bad camera. And as he gets more and more into it, you see him kind of climbing the ranks and getting there first, and then he's so desperate to make it that he kind of starts manipulating certain situations to give him the best story and the best footage. And so he began selling his footage to Rene Russo, who is like this producer at a TV network, and she's been doing this for a while, and she starts buying his stuff and kind of shows him the ropes. And then he has this competitor in Bill Paxton, who is like a veteran Nightcrawler who's out there and kind of competes with them. And then he hires this guy Rick, who's played by Riz Ahmed, as like his right-hand man and his camera operator, and teaches him the ropes. And it's really cool. Jake Gyllenhaal, this is one of the best performances I've seen from him ever. Really, like he lost about 20 pounds for this role. He looks real gaunt, but he plays like kind of like this complete character where he's like obsessive, and he has this awkward way of speaking, and he like learns everything on the internet, like not really like schooling, but he learns on the internet, and he's just all these facts, and it's cool, and it's really good. Like you can really see the work that he put in as an actor to create this character, which I can't imagine was written this way on the page. Like he really shaped this character. It's an awesome story. It's one of those movies where, I heard about it from, different news outlets and things like that, but it wasn't really advertised much in my area. And when I went to go see it, I was so happy that I did, because it's really well. It's really good. Rene Russo, I haven't seen her in a while. other than in like the Thor movies, because she plays Thor and Loki's mother. But she was awesome in this. She plays like this really hard-hitting like news producer, and she's like take no shit type of person. And she meets her match when she comes up against Jake Gyllenhaal. Bill Paxton plays kind of like this asshole guy, this like veteran, and he's at first he laughs at Lewis, who's Jake Gyllenhaal. He laughs at Lewis and then wants him on his team and has all these visions, and then Jake ends up like manipulating situations and steals his idea, and then Riz Ahmed, who I've never really seen before, I'm trying to see what he's been in. Nothing that hasn't been anything that I'm too familiar with. A couple episodes of Criminal Justice, and it looks like some like independent films and stuff like that. But he does a really good job playing the employee of Lewis, and it's a good movie. I'm gonna give this actually 4 out of 5 stars. It's interesting. I'm really interested to hear what other people think about it. So tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought about it. You like Jake Gyllenhaal? Did you see the movie? Is it even playing in your area? Because that's a good thing. Thus far, Jake Gyllenhaal has been nominated for a couple awards for this film. He's nominated for a Golden Globe. I know he's nominated for a SAG Award, Satellite Awards, and some others. This is Dan Gilroy, who wrote and directed this, and I think this is like his directorial debut, and he's actually married to Rene Russo, who was the actress in the film. One thing, this gives a really like authentic look to Los Angeles, and a really different look that you don't really see in movies that often. Like up in the hills, around the streets at night. It's really cool. If you have never been to Los Angeles, this is a good movie to watch just to see the background elements. I mean, most of the movies shot at night because he's night crawling, but it's really good. But yeah, what do you think? You can definitely comment below. Also, guys, I'm going to ask you to subscribe. Subscribe on whatever vehicle you're watching this or listening to this in. On YouTube, Stitcher Radio, iTunes. Hit that subscribe button. That way you are the first to know when our episodes drop. We have episodes coming where we're talking about a lot of... we're in the middle of award season. We're talking about a lot of award movies, reviews, trailer reviews, interviews. We're talking about other things that aren't movies and television. There's a lot coming up. Thank you for hanging with us this long as we're in our infancy, but we're following along in phase 1. We're moving right along, and things are looking up, and we have some great content coming up soon. Dudes, dudettes, thank you again. I'm Gerald Yelverton. You can always contact me on Twitter at Gerald Yelverton, just like it sounds, just like it's spelled. Hit me up there, and until next time, thanks for being awesome.
You've been listening to Dude on Air. For more talk on movies, TV, and everything in between, hit the subscribe button, available on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. For Gerald and the Dude on Air crew, thanks for being awesome.